Welcome to another lecture on soft computing. As I mentioned earlier, that soft computing is a fusion of multiple techniques like fuzzy logic, neural networks and genetic algorithm. So we will discuss all these techniques in detail one by one. Let us start with fuzzy logic. We often talk about complex problems, so an obvious question arises: what makes a problem complex? Suppose I give you a problem of performing multiplication of two matrices having some hundreds or thousands of elements. So would you say that this is a complex problem because it is involving thousands of multiplication and addition sub operations? No, I would not say that this problem is a complex problem. Why? Because to perform this operation we have a well-defined algorithm or well-defined procedure. It may take time, but we do not have to face any confusion. Okay, so these type of problems for which we have a well-defined procedure or algorithm through which we can obtain a precise result are not complex problem. Rather, those problems are complex problems which involve some ambiguity and uncertainty. These are the two major factors, ambiguity and uncertainty, that makes a problem complex. So it is a big challenge how to handle these type of ambiguities and uncertainties for the solution of a problem. Ambiguity means that some sort of confusion. For example, if I give you a term, suppose high speed, there are many such terms in real life that we face, that we deal with, which are ambiguous. If you talk about this term high speed, so can you define it properly? Can we have a very well defined definition for the term high speed? If there is a car moving at a speed of 200 km per hour, you will say that this is a high speed. But on the other hand, if there is a metro or bullet train, not metro, if there is a bullet train and that is also moving at the speed of 200 km per hour, so you would say that it is so slow. So depending on the reference, depending on the context, the definition of high speed is changing. The same figure, that is 200 km per hour, is considered high speed for a car, but it is not so high for a bullet train. So depending on the reference, depending on the context, the definition is changing. So these type of terms are ambiguous, or in other words we say that it is fuzzy. So in real life we deal with these type of ambiguities or uncertainties or fuzziness with our common sense, knowledge or intelligence. Okay, but our mathematical models do not have that kind of common sense, so that they can deal with these type of entities. So fuzzy logic is a technique that tries to incorporate this kind of common sense into mathematical model to handle or to deal with the problems where some kind of ambiguity and uncertainty is involved. Okay, so with the help of conventional mathematical models, we cannot provide acceptable solution for these type of problems, because these mathematical models either they provide a precise solution or they provide no solution at all. Okay, so fuzzy logic, it tries to mimic the human common sense and decision making ability to solve certain problems, certain real life problems, okay, involving some uncertain, ambiguous or incomplete data. Okay, the conventional approach of logic is known as crisp logic, that provides you precise values, but this approach, fuzzy logic, is something different, which do not provide you precise values, rather it provides you approximate values, or in other words we can say that it is dealing with approximate reasoning. Okay, with crisp logic only two types of outputs are possible, either 1 or 0. So this is also known as binary logic. The conventional logic is also known as binary logic because it is having only two types of values, true or false. But this fuzzy logic is known as multi-valued logic because it provides you a number of values including 0 and 1 and many other values in between. So this is a multi-valued logic that tries to incorporate human common sense into mathematical models to provide the solution for the problems where we have some ambiguous, uncertain or incomplete data. So interestingly, fuzzy logic doesn't mean that logic is fuzzy. Logic can never be fuzzy. Logic is always crystal clear. Okay, rather fuzzy logic is the logic that describes fuzziness, that deals with the fuzziness. Okay, so we can build fuzzy logic on fuzzy sets. Fuzzy sets are a generalized model of conventional classical sets. You very well know the classical set theory, okay, where we have some sets, a particular entity, either it is within the set or it is not within the set. Only two possibilities are there. For example, if you consider a set of BTech students, so it is a very well defined set. A particular student, it is either a BTech student or he or she is not a BTech student. There is nothing in between. Only yes and no. There are two possibilities. Any student cannot be a student of BTech as well as a student of MCA. He or she is either a student of BTech or he or she is not a student of BTech. Only two possibilities are there. So this is a classical set theory is based on Boolean logic, okay, where we have very well defined sets and any particular element is either in the set or it is not in the set. Only two possibilities are there. A researcher, Lotfi Zadeh, generalized this concept of sets to the fuzzy sets, okay, where any element is within the fuzzy set with a certain degree of membership. We will discuss this concept in more detail, okay, but to make it more clear, let us consider one example. This is a very popular example known as tall man. Okay, Here we have a set of tall men, and question is whether a particular element, here element is a man, whether a particular man is tall or not. Okay, this is the question for a classical set. So let us decide a threshold value. Suppose it is 180 centimeter. In case of a classical set approach, any person who is above 180 is tall and below 180 is not a tall man. Only these two possibilities are there. Okay, but how fuzzy set theory works? Consider this table. Here some names are given. In second column, height is given. The fourth column represents the membership value, the logic value for crisp set, and the last fourth set is represent membership value for a fuzzy set. If suppose this is a crisp set, then the first person Ajay, having a height of 191 centimeter, it is definitely a tall man. So this is in the set. So value for crisp set is 1. For fuzzy set it is 1. The person with a height 186. So for a crisp set the logic value is 1, but for a fuzzy set the value is 0.98. This value is showing the confidence, with what confidence we can say that a person is tall or not. So with a confidence value of 0.98, that is almost 1, that is we are almost sure that the person is a tall man. The person Sanjay with height 181, in case of classical or crisp set the logic value is 1, and fuzzy set membership value is 0.92. because height is reduced, so confidence is also reduced in the same accordingly. Okay, now consider the person Ranvijay, height 179. This entry is interesting. It is just below the threshold. Threshold is 180 centimeter and height of Ranvijay is 179. So common sense says that Ranvijay is also a tall man, but the conventional classical set theory says that because this is below the threshold, so Ranvijay is not a tall person at all, or in other words it is considering him a short person. But is really Ranvijay short man? No, common sense says that no, Ranvijay is not a short person. So here comes the role of fuzzy set. Fuzzy set is not denying that Ranvijay is not a tall person, but it says that with some low confidence, a confidence value of 0.9, it is considered that Ranvijay is also a tall man. Digvijay with height 160, the crisp value 0, fuzzy set value with some low confidence 0.12, it is being considered a tall man. And Sudeep Kuldeep, definitely both of them are short persons. So therefore value for crisp set as well as fuzzy set is 0. Okay, so this term tall man, actually it is not well defined. If you are in India a person with a height suppose 175 centimeter is considered a tall man, but in Europe he is not considered so tall, because in Europe men with height more than 6 feet is a common thing. Okay, so there a height of 175 centimeter, which is below 6 feet, is not considered as a tall man. Okay, but in India it will be considered as a tall man. Okay, so it depends on the context. Okay, so in case of classical set theory, the question was, is the man tall? And answer could be either yes or 0. But in case of fuzzy set theory, the question changes to how tall is the man. Okay, here multiple answers are possible. We can say that definitely a person is a tall man, or we can say that definitely a person is not a tall man, or we can say that a person is a tall man with a confidence 0.98, or we can say with a confidence value 0.92 or 0.9 or 0.12 that a particular person is a tall man. Okay, so this is the difference between classical set theory and fuzzy set theory. Again, the classical set theory, here question is the man tall? So only two possibilities are there, yes or no. In case of fuzzy set theory, the question changes to how tall is the man. Okay, it may be definitely yes, definitely no, or in something in between. Okay, depending on the confidence value. So this is how fuzzy set theory works. Okay, formally we can define fuzzy sets like this. Like classical set theory, we have a universal set which is having the range of all possible values applicable to the chosen variable. Okay, a crisp set X of U can be defined as, if element X belongs to S, then membership value is 1. If element X is not belonging to the set X, then membership value is 0. While on the other hand, a fuzzy set A of universe U is defined by a membership function mu A, such that value of mu A for a particular element X is 1 if X is totally in set A. Value of membership function for element X is 0 if X is definitely not in A. The value of membership function for element X is in between 0 and 1 if X is partly in A. So this makes fuzzy set or fuzzy logic a multi-valued logic, while the crisp set is it follows the binary logic, where only two values are possible, true and false, or in other words 1 and 0. Okay, so this is enough for today. These are the some references that you can follow for this course. Mostly the course is within this. First reference, a book titled as Principles of Soft Computing by Sivanandam and Deepa. publisher Wiley India. Okay, thank you.